Hello and welcome back. My name is Garland Fuller. I am excited to talk to you today because there is something that I have been thinking about. I haven't fully built anything yet, but I literally have been thinking about what I would distill down into one thing that I would do. I've decided that teaching how daily practices can really revolutionize not just your life, but your relationships, your health, dare I even say your what you want to do with your life from a career or work standpoint. It sounds a little crazy to even say your daily practice can revolutionize how you show up in the world, but honestly, it can. I want to use this time to really talk through I think when I became aware of a daily practice, it was actually from a coach that I worked with. But I even looked back at times in my life where when I was doing something every day and didn't have to necessarily even be the same thing every day, but I had time to really lock in and really be present. And those were the times where I felt in my life where I was just the most in flow, or just things wouldn't bother me, or just I had a interest in making sure that I wasn't distracted around whatever was going on in my life. I wanted to ensure that an impressive life is not the same thing as a fulfilling life. I think we have a lot of outside markers or what they call extrinsic motivators, things that make us get up. And it's usually things that are outside of ourselves, like a certain job, making certain kind of money, a certain kind of car, maybe having a size house, maybe going on flashy vacations, all of those types of things that I think we love and enjoy. And don't get me wrong, they're nice to have. However, when you look at fulfillment and whether it's something that, without it, would you feel like your life is fulfilled? I think that's a totally different question. And what I've noticed when I do coaching and I ask the women that I coach around what's fulfilling, what does success look like? It's often the simple things. It's the things that don't cost money. It's the things like peace of mind, satisfaction, joy, gratitude. These are the priceless things that we always talk about. If I could just have that, I feel like I would feel complete. I would feel fulfilled. And so what I have found is that in chasing the extrinsic things, we sometimes lose track of the intrinsic, priceless things that are available around us. My hope is that in doing a daily practice, you are able to tap into those internal levers that really make your life more fulfilling. What I want you to know is that if you have tried this before and you have had a hard time staying disciplined, consistent, it being something that you do without feeling like you're forcing it, if it hasn't worked for you before, I'm here to tell you I understand. I also can tell you a little bit why that is the case. If you have read James Clear, Atomic Habits, you know some of this. If you have not, it's a wonderful book I recommend. He has outlined ways to create habits and how you can do that. And typically, what he says in this book is that we usually go too far. We want to do five things instead of just doing one or two things really well. And so oftentimes when you change or you want to change your life, and especially around the New Year's time when everyone gets all of this motivation to be a better person and be healthier, and there's dry January, and we're like all of this excitement to do all of that stuff in his mind, if you just do one or two things and you decide to do one or two things and just focus on those one or two things, you will go further and you will actually do it when you decide it's not like you're trying to lose weight and trying to get a promotion and trying to, you know, I don't know, do something, build out your kitchen or decorate your closet or get a capsule wardrobe. If you're trying to do too many things at once, it literally your brain is not able to function and gets nothing done, gets easily overwhelmed. And typically, this is why by the time March rolls around, everybody that was so gung ho about going to the gym and starting over is no longer in the gym. And what we have also discerned is that if you do some habit stacking, meaning you associate one thing with another thing, and you have a way of looking at it like when I brush my teeth, I also take my medication, or when I pour my orange juice or my coffee or whatever beverage smoothie, then I add my supplements in, or whatever the thing is that you do. And so it helps you to remember to do the things together. It's called habit stacking. And honestly, it's, if anything, creates a sense of when I do this, I do that. The other part of this is why it may not have worked for you in the past is there's an identity piece to this he talks about in his book, where say you decide I want to start running a mile. And so you do it maybe for 3 weeks really well. But if you don't start to see yourself as a runner and start to identify with, I am a runner, I see myself as a runner, what would a runner do? A runner maybe gets up a certain time to go running, or goes to sleep at a certain time to go running, or gets a special kind of shoe to go running, or a runner has a watch to track their running, or whatever. You can run without all these things. But for me, I am trying to communicate that if you want to be a runner, you need to start to think of yourself as one. And so, would a runner eat a double cheeseburger? Would a runner go and do a strength and conditioning workout instead of zoning out in front of the television and going to bed really late and then not being able to wake up to go running the next day? So you start to see yourself as a certain thing, and that as a result means you filter decisions and behaviors and ideas and thoughts through this filter of your identity. And so I talk about this because oftentimes when we can't do something or we're not able to continue to do it, it's probably because one of those three things is going on. You've got too many things you're trying to do at once. You're not associating it with something that you are already doing, and you don't see yourself as that. And so with daily routines, what I have found is that we oftentimes don't stick to them because we haven't figured out a way to put them into our life. The third part of shifting to a daily practice is it's carving out time for yourself. And I know that as busy women who have lots of responsibilities, especially whether it's you're a family that's knocking at your door or even in your bed at a certain hour, you really, for the caregiving parts of this, can be very difficult to make time for yourself. And then the other part of making time for yourself is prioritizing yourself and saying, I matter. And I know for many women, the idea of taking time for yourself feels selfish. You may even have internal thoughts of, oh my God, I'm letting down my family. Mom guilt comes in. If your partner is sometimes not available or not there, if you have a partner, whatever your situation is, I feel like you create all of these narratives around, I'm not good enough. I can't believe I'm taking this time for myself. Oh, I have a million things on this to-do list. I'll get my stuff done later. And so you literally put yourself at the bottom of the list. And as a result, you never get the time because there'll always be something to fill it. And there will always be something that is more priority. And you have to just decide, I'm going to take the time to do this. And it doesn't have to be the whole day, meaning I see sometimes morning routines that are like 3 hours long or 2 hours long. Honestly, if 10 minutes is all you have, make the most out of those 10 minutes. If 15 minutes is all you have, make the most out of your 15. The beauty of doing an exploration and experimentation in your daily practice is figuring out what you can manage and making it your own, designing it so that it works for you. I have found that it actually also means that you are being intentional with how you create space in your life that allows you to have a moment to be even able to have possibility. And I know that probably sounds crazy. What do you mean a daily practice is going to give me possibility? By doing it every day, you start to rely on it. You also start to notice things in the rest of your day. I myself have seen when I am super on my meditation practice, my responsiveness to things that are irritating is much better because I'm able to observe and have better presence of mind. I've also noticed when I do things that I enjoy, because joy is one of the things that I feel like we as a society have fallen apart on. When you do things that you're enjoying, you look forward to, and you take it with you as you go. And so you start to notice it in other parts of your day to day. And so the daily practice is really, it's for you. It's for nothing else than you. And I know that many of you have thought, I can't do that. I don't know that it's even going to do anything for me. All of the things that I feel when I work with women and I coach them in the beginning, and they're just like, what? Affirmations, especially when the negative self talk, like, I don't know why I've been struggling like this for so long. Maybe it's not for me. If you're ruminating at night, like you're up until 1 a.m., 2 a.m., because your brain is just going and thinking through all kinds of worst case scenarios of all the things that could go wrong, that is definitely not helping you. And it's definitely not going to be something that you are going to be able to make better if you don't start to even realize that you're doing it. A big part of a daily practice is disrupting a lot of things that you maybe just have become used to. It's almost like a broken record. And you may not even be aware of what your broken record is saying because you're just so used to it. And so a daily practice is an opportunity to disrupt it, or at least become aware of it or recognize it. So this is an invitation. I am talking about this because I have seen how it can transform a life, and I have seen how it has transformed my own. And so I am offering a 21-day practice experiment, and it's an opportunity over 21 days for you and I and a small group of 25 people to work together and to figure out what a daily practice looks like for you. We will be talking through what I call my 5 cups method. And that is a way for you to find practices that you may want to incorporate into your day. Do understand a daily practice is going to look like what you look like. So if you're a morning person, it may be for morning. If you're an afternoon person and you need to pick me up in the afternoon, that might be better for you. If you are a night person and it's something that you prefer to do before you go to bed, it can look like different things on different days. This is the whole point of me designing and talking about designing and experimenting, because I feel like we as a society are being told this is what it looks like. And if you're not doing this, then you're not doing it right. Or if you're not doing this, then you're not successful, motivated, empowered, all of these adjectives. And I don't believe that to be true. I feel like you're probably doing something that you either don't even feel like any of those things resonate with you. You're also not doing it because your time and how you work may be different from this 5 a.m. that everybody's talking about. And I can tell you right now, my daily practice does not start at 5 a.m. I have tried to do 5 a.m. and I can't do it. We're going to talk about circadian rhythms and knowing your rhythms and knowing where you are. And I feel like a lot of us are, again, trying to do something that is not for us. So this offer is to get on this priority list. I am literally building this thing in real time. Would love to tell you more about it, but I need you to get on the priority list so that I can start to figure out what that can look like. And I'm doing this out loud. I'm usually Little Miss, have got all the modules done, can tell you all the things, But what I have realized is that doesn't, not only does it work, but two, why am I making and giving myself so much stress and pressure to do this when we can just talk about it and build out loud? And so that is why I am encouraging you to join the priority list. I will put all the details in the link below. This is huge for you if you feel like you're just dragging through life, you don't feel like you have any motivation. If you've experienced any kind of change recently, and when I say change, it can be anything, maybe it's job loss, maybe it's grief and someone close to you has died, maybe it is you just are going through an identity shift. You used to be a mom and wife, and that was your thing. And now your kids are out of the house, and maybe your husband is not necessarily as present as he used to be. Whatever the case is may be, you feel like you're quicksand, like sinking, and you just know that you can't keep going like this. I'm a big believer in intuition and inner wisdom. If you have any kind of chest, headache, gut, and you're just like, something's not right with me, let's start with the daily practice. I think you can figure out what it is if you quiet yourself long enough to investigate and to interrupt and to try and experiment with modalities that are out here and figure out what is resonating with you, because I find that most of the times we're just sleepwalking through life. I can tell you before I had daily practice, I felt like I was just floating. I think they call it disassociation, where you're just kind of, you're there, but you're not really there. The lights aren't all the way on. You're going through the motions because we autopilot a lot of things when we've been doing it over and over. Some of you may be in burnout, whether you know it or not. And high functioning burnout looks different than mental breakdown burnout. I think when we say burnout, people think, oh my God, it means I'm falling apart. You could be very much doing all the things and still feel like you're just treading water. So if any of this sounds like you or somebody you love and know, join the priority list. Add them to this, send this to them, share this with them, because I want this is revolutionary. I really don't know how else to say it. And I'm on a mission right now to get us together. Ladies, get together. I feel like we're all out here on our little islands silently struggling. And some of us, that are looking and thinking, this person has it all figured out. They look great. They're this, that. I don't think anybody has it figured out. I think some of us are using tools and techniques and have access to certain things and are aware and know certain things and are making an effort and trying. And I think some of us are just looking around, just dazed and confused. And so if we can decide, that's first step, just decide, I'm just interested. I'd like to learn more. Get on the priority list, and then I will take it from there. You can go look through my bios and all of my things. I'm on all the platforms that exist. So feel free to sleuth around and see who I am if this is the first time you're seeing anything about me. I don't want to do a whole bio read because all of this is on the internet. I'm not hiding under a rock. If anything, I feel like I've been doing a lot of different things, and this is the one thing I'm going to focus on for a while so that I can really just lock in with everybody. And this is when I do private coaching. This is the thing that I think shifts so many things. I start seeing people get things that they didn't think they could get. And it's actually magical. If you've gotten this far, thank you. Link in my below, and have a good one.